Hi, welcome. A while ago, Pokémon Legends CA was released, and a lot of people started wondering, what will the starters be? Normally, you wouldn't think about this if it was anything other than a Legends game, but the previous game in the Legends series, Pokémon Legends Arceus, didn't have the Sinnoh starters, even though the game took place in Sinnoh and the starters were obtainable in the wild. The game explained this by saying that the Sinnoh starters were too feral and hard to tame, so they had Rowlet, Cyndaquil, and Oshawott sent to Hisui from other regions. So today, I'm gonna try to make an educated guess on what I think all the 6 Legend CA starters will be. There are a couple criteria that some people think exist, like no recently used starters, so none of the Gen 9 starters can be used in the game. These would feel too familiar and also maybe a bit boring, because you just recently got to use them. No previous Legend starters, so no Rowlet, Cyndaquil, and Oshawott. This would make it seem like Game Freak has a clear bias towards some of the starters. Some people might also say no starters from Kalos, which is where Legend CA takes place, but I'm going the Nordest route. Since the Gen 6 starters haven't been used in 10 years, they don't feel as recent as the Sinnoh starters, which got a new game not long before Legends Arceus, in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, so the Gen 6 starters are still candidates. Legend CA is also finally bringing back Megas, so I believe that starters that have already gotten Megas can't be the new starters, since they wouldn't be able to get a Mega if they want to do that. That excludes all Gen 1 and 3 starters because they got Megas and X and Y for the Kanto starters, and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire for the Hoenn starters. But what do we have left then? For Generation 1, we have no starters left. Generation 2, there's Totodile and Cyndaquil. Generation 3, there's none. Generation 4 has Turtwig, Piplup, and Chimchar. Generation 5, Snivy and Tepig. Generation 6, we have Chespin, Froakie, and Fennekin. Generation 7 has Poplio and Litten. Generation 8 has Grookey, Sobble, and Scorbunny. And Generation 9 doesn't have any. But how do we pick between all these choices? Well, another criteria is that the starters have to be connected to the culture of the region, and since Gen 6, Kalos is based on France and the city Legend CA takes place in is based on Paris, the starters have to be related to France in some way. In Legends Arceus, we had Typhlosion, which is a volcano, and one of the most popular landmarks in Japan is the volcano Mount Fuji. The Hisuian form of Typhlosion turns into a representation of the Hyakki-Yagyo, the night parade of 100 demon. It is a parade of thousands of supernatural creatures known as Oni and Yonkai, wandering through Japanese beaches at night. This also translates into its signature move, Infernal Parade. Samurott goes from an honorable samurai, which of course there used to be lots of in Japan, to a corrupted one, drunk on power, which is reflected in its dark typing. The name of its signature move, Ceaseless Edge, roughly means never-ending slash or continuous slash, which may be why it deals residual damage in the game. The Shidui is an archer, which was even more common battle style than the sword fighting in old Japan. In its Hisuian form, it turns into a Ronin, a samurai without a master. It becomes a fighting type with mane tail that, like many hero story, the rogue Decidueye walks into a town and saves them from the corrupt Samurott, because, well, fighting is super effective against dark. So, starters for Legend CA have to be friends, but they also need to be able to get new forms. I, like many others, believe that the starters will be Snivy, Piplup, and Scorbunny. Superior is very French, representing the French symbol fleur-de-lis in both its head and yellow marks on its body. Its white face might also be a nod to old European royalty, whitening their faces. Napoleon is just Napoleon, a French emperor. And the last one isn't as French, but Scorbunny, for soccer, because France's soccer team has won the World Cup twice, and the popular team PSG is French. I believe these starters should get new regional forms, like the ones on screen right now, by the one and only Nordest. Wait, let's just rewind here. What I think all the 6 Legend CA starters will be. What, 6 starters? That's right, in Pokémon X and Y, after you beat Professor Sycamore, he gives you a choice between the 3 Kanto starters, making it the only game with 2 sets of starters. Until now. I believe that in Pokemon Legends CA, you get to choose between Snivy, Piplup, and Scorbunny, and when you've picked one of them, then you do something story-related, like beating the professor, and then you get to choose between Chespin, Froakie, and Fennekin, which I think will get completely new megas. No, I'm not talking about Ash Greninja, get him out of here. I'm talking about Mega Chestnut, I'm talking Mega Delphox, I'm talking Mega Greninja. I think it would be so cool to get 2 sets of starters, so you could have regional forms that would be the same over different games, and Megas, which could only be used in the Legends CA. I don't know how they would explain the Mega Stones, and I don't even know which time period the game's in, but I just hope that this comes true. If the game is in the present or future, I think there's a pretty good chance that we'll get this, because why would they change if they already established that the player would get 2 starters? In the past, however, I'm not so sure, but I do think that Game Freak wants to give the starters megas, but they also like making new forms that can be brought to other games, so there might be a chance. Well, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.